July 2026. Buried on pages 50 and 51 of the Nigerian's newly passed federal budget sits a single line, 1.3 billion naira, for an agency called the Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council. There is just one problem. The presidency says it does not exist. Not doesn't function well, not underperforms, doesn't exist. No enabling law, no executive order, no inauguration. And yet, for months, this council reportedly operated out of the Federal Secretariat in Abuja, held meetings with lawmakers, and opened a bank account with the Central Bank of Nigeria. So, the real question isn't just who created it. It is how a council with no legal existence got a government office and a budget line before anyone stopped it. At the center of this is a man named Adeyemi Matthew, who presented himself as the Director General of both the Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council and something called the Presidential Executive Advisory Council. Public records shows his associates met with the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, engaged the EFCC, and consulted Nigeria's electricity regulator. For an organization that government insists never existed, it kept remarkably official company. Here's what we can say for certain and what we can't. The Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council's budget line, code 01110620001, appears in the past 2026 Appropriation Act, totaling roughly 1.3 billion naira, split between recurrent and capital spending. Chief of Staff Femi Gbajabiamila has publicly disowned the council on the presidency's behalf. Adeyemi alleges Gbajabiamila's office demanded 48% of a proposed 27.4 billion naira takeoff grant, an allegation the Chief of Staff denies. Backed by a 10 billion naira defamation threat, two irreconcilable stories, one very real budget line. Rewind to May 2025. Correspondence arrives at the House of Representatives. Official letterhead, a government-style logo, even a gov.ng web address, from an organization calling itself both Presidential Executive Advisory Council and Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council. Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu later admitted his office verified the physical office before granting a meeting. It was real enough to check out. That's the unsettling part. This wasn't hiding in the shadows. It was operating inside the machinery of government. So, how does an unauthorized agency make it into a national budget? In Nigeria's appropriation process, budget lines are meant to pass through committee defense, where an agency's leadership appears before lawmakers to justify its funding. Legislative source says the Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council's proposal never went through that process. No hearing, no defense, just a line item that survived every stage of a budget cycle designed to catch exactly this kind of anomaly. And here is where it turns politically messy. In July 2026, the House of Representatives voted to investigate the allocation. The Senate voted the opposite way, rejecting a similar probe and choosing instead to await findings from the ICPC, Nigeria's anti-corruption agency. 2 chambers of the same National Assembly looking at the same 1.3 billion naira mystery, reaching 2 different conclusions about whether it even deserves their own scrutiny. It is worth pausing here. 1.3 billion naira sounds abstract until you convert it into what it could fund. Teachers' salaries, primary health care centers, boreholes for communities still without clean water. Every naira spent on a council nobody can verify is a naira that didn't reach an institution someone actually depends on. That is not partisan commentary. That is arithmetic. President Tinubu has since ordered the ICPC to conduct a 30-day investigation into the Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council and everyone connected to it, with the DSS and EFCC reportedly tasked with identifying any internal collaborators. That is a significant response, one that suggests even the presidency isn't fully certain how deep this goes. Cases like this expose a weakness bigger than one fake council. A budget process with plenty of checkpoints on paper, but apparently too few in practice. Whether that is negligence, complicity, or bureaucratic overload is exactly what investigators and opposition figures like Atiku Abubakar, who has called the government defense self-indicting, are now demanding answers to. There is a leadership lesson buried in the scandal, and it isn't really about Adeniyi Adeyemi. It's about institution. A letterhead and a website convinced senior officials to grant meetings. A budget line survived without a single defense hearing. When systems trust appearance over verification, the door doesn't just open for one impostor. It stays open for the next one too. Nigeria has been here before. Inflated budget lines, ghost workers, agencies existing mostly on paper. What makes Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council different is scale and visibility. This wasn't a quiet line buried for years. It was caught in real time, in a single budget cycle, while the money was still being contested. As of this recording, the ICPC investigation is still ongoing. Adeyemi is rearrested and currently detained. The Senate and the House remain split, and Adeyemi remains, depending on who you ask, either a fugitive impostor or a whistleblower with inconvenient allegations. What actually happened to that money and who signed off on it is still unknown. So here's the question worth sitting with. Is if a council that legally doesn't exist can hold a government office, a bank account, and a budget line, how many others like it are still sitting quietly inside a budget nobody has checked yet? That is not a question for the presidency alone to answer. It is a question for anyone who wants public money to actually reach the public. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed. This has been the Pivot Report. Thanks for watching. Bye.